Lore Friendly, new episode.
Well,
Myself and
hey!
Alice Bell. How are you doing?
I am good, thank you. So, I've been researching guinea pig breeding patterns because my little girl Azura has been behaving very weirdly recently. Not like she's ill weird, but like she's just been behaving a little bit odd. And this is relevant because I'm
Okay.
actually recording in the same room as Azura, which is why if any of the listeners pick up on any wild squeaking, like for example, if I move this plastic bag a second,
Oh, and then she might say, "Buy Azura, buy Azura, buy Azura. It's the grand champion." Right? That's what
Yeah.
she says.
well, no, she's currently saying, squeak, 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 Mum, stop teasing me. I know there's no food in that bag. But yeah,
Mom. She calls you mom and not the grand champion.
no, she does
How
not call me the
offensive.
grand champion, unfortunately. But basically, she's been very energetic recently, running around. And the weirdest thing that she's been doing is she's been running up to like the edge of her hutch and like staring me down and wiggling her butt at me.
Yeah, it's just like the adoring fan does
Exactly.
in Oblivion. It's exactly
Stares
the
down
same.
into your soul. And so she's been doing this butt wiggling thing with me. And it turns out that it is apparently a dominance behaviour, often done when a female guinea pig is ready to breed.
Well, now you know.
And I now know that I'm not letting a boy anywhere near my little girl. I'm going to be the overprotective father with a shotgun because she's doing it again!
I think that's what the adoring fan does too when he's ready to breed. He just starts wiggling his butt at the grand champion.
You know what another really weird habit that she has is? She shits where she eats.
Oh, okay, that's great.
She...
We're off to a roaring start here talking about your guinea pig. Shall we talk about more relevant topics, I guess?
How is a guinea pig called Azora not relevant to our content?
I have no idea. I mean,
She's wiggling her butt at me again. Sorry, I should not record in the same room as Azura, but I can't record in my bedroom. So the only room without the echo is the guinea pig room, aka my office. In fact,
yeah, it's fancy. It's very well done. It's like
I'm sat.
real office.
I've got a desk right in front of me. That's the worst thing. But I can't get to it because there's so much hay in here, and food in here, and guinea
How are
pig
you
bedding in
ever-
here.
With that kind of messy office setup, how are you ever going to write things down in your Death Note? And
Speaking of, you just wanted to get off the topic of guinea pigs, didn't you?
No, totally not. I just randomly segued into that. It was not a contrivance or anything.
It definitely
like that.
was.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of Death Note, the author came out with a new one-shot comic, or manga, as they're called in Japan. And we'll actually put the link below because it's a pretty quick read. It took me like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how long it took
It took
you,
me about
but
the
it's
same.
a pretty quick read. Yeah, it's a one-shot. Takes place after the events of the original Death Note. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on the manga in general?
So long as it stays as a one shot, I'm really happy with it. Because Death Note is one of the classics if you're getting into anime and manga. It's one of the go-tos. And my first introduction to Death Note wasn't actually through the anime itself, but through the Japanese live action.
Yeah, okay, that's different.
But you know what? So long as it stays to this one shot, I'm okay with it because it was interesting, it was unique, it took a very different twist on the concept.
Yeah, I enjoyed just going back to that world, but at the same time, they didn't walk down the same path. They took it in a different direction.
Completely different direction.
And warning, of course, spoilers abound. So let's get that out of the way first. But the person who gets a death note in this case shares characteristics with Light, but he actually wants to avoid killing people.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to use the death note to basically enrich himself.
Because this is in a world where Kira is, I feel rightly, demonized for murdering so many people.
Yeah. Well, and in general, even if Kira didn't exist, the mere act of killing people is not cool. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a good thing to murder people. There's no like way you can make it ethically sound.
No.
At the end of the day, you're killing people using a device. It's the same as if you used a gun that nobody could trace.
Yeah.
It's just less messy than a gun. It's just
Yeah.
it's easier to stomach, I suppose.
because there's no real act involved in it.
Yeah. And so the way he does it, I think, is a bit ingenious. He starts a bidding war on Twitter, of all places. And eventually governments get involved. And of course, the wealthiest government, being the United States, is the one that wins the bidding. And the ingenious way is how he has it pay out. He, instead of having it pay out to him directly, he has it pay out to everybody who banks at his particular bank, Yotsuba Bank. And so it ends up being an untraceable way, like, to do the crime. And like Nier himself, I think it's Nier, he's L now, basically says like, yeah, there's no way I can trace this.
I got played.
It's done. Yeah, I lost. Game over. But the interesting twist is that Donald Trump makes a fucking appearance.
Trump is in Death Note. Donald Trump's presidency is in Death Note canon. And can I just say that the artist was very flattering on his appearance.
Oh, not just in his appearance, in his character overall. I felt it was a complete misrepresentation of Trump. I don't know. What did you think of Trump? Death Note Trump.
I thought, personally speaking, that it was quite a accurate representation. I think we read it differently. Like, you read it as him being shrewd. I read it as him being a cowardly idiot.
No, I mean, he was cowardly, but he was cowardly in a way that generic corrupt politician is. Like, he's self-serving. He does things to be duplicitous, to kind of deceive the public. That's generic corrupt politician. Donald Trump is the kind of guy that if you tell him no, he's going to scream in your face and go on Twitter. Like, the real Donald Trump would have been on Twitter slamming Ryuk and his horrible deal minutes after like the whole thing was changed. He would have been on Twitter. It's like, Ryuk changed deal, not terms I agree to, sad.
You see, I think the thing is, though, is that because the real Donald Trump has that sort of personality, they didn't want to depict him as the real Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump in appearance only.
Yeah, exactly. I think
because
it was just
they
generic
didn't want
president.
to do something where the author would be getting tweeted at by the President of the United States.
I don't know. I think it would have helped sales, although it's for free. So I don't know. It would have helped boost visibility or notoriety, I think. Because, like, let's face it, Donald Trump does not take getting told no very well.
No.
He does. The word no doesn't sit well with him. So if you told him no, if you told him, like, you can't have this, you can't use this, he's going to throw a fucking tantrum. He's going to go on Twitter, slam Ryuk, slam the fucking underworld. He's going to be like, Shinigamis, they fucking changed the deal at the last minute. This is a very bad deal. He would have been on Twitter slamming fucking Ryuk. I think that is, like, how Donald Trump plays it. But instead, in this comic, he kind of played it like generic corrupt politician, where he's like, yeah, I'm going to pretend that I have it and pretend that I refuse to use it. And which, again, like, that doesn't track with Donald Trump's personality.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is not a person who is a saint. He's an aggressive sort of person who says, I'm going to kill the bad guys, right? Like, if he doesn't use the death note on, like, all the fucking people he hates, like, basically any political opponent or person of color, he's basically gonna hear it from his supporters. So it's just, it doesn't track at all. I don't think that the author basically took the character in mind. He just had a story that he wanted to tell, and he just basically decided to put Donald Trump's name on the generic corrupt politician. I don't know. That was my one gripe. Oh, well, that and the whole fact that the twist at the end was kind of a bullshit twist.
Yeah.
They just changed the rules on that poor kid.
No, because that's one of the original rules of the Death Note is if you take possession of the Death Note, then eventually the Shinigami is going to be the one who writes your name in the Death Note. Because that was the thing with Light as well, so it wasn't a bullshit twist.
It was. Well, I'm cool with... Because I always think that the person who used the Death Note should die.
Yeah.
But it should be in a way that he didn't see coming. Like, the rules should have been clear to him. Like, once you change the rules at the end, that's kind of...
Well, the thing is, he couldn't read English. He couldn't read English.
Well, that would have been fine. Had the rule been there in English and he couldn't read it, he's like, I don't need to read it. That's fine. It would have made him stupid. But maybe if they had something like where, let's say... the rule is there. He's aware of the rule. And to circumvent it, he just makes his parents rich. He makes his family members rich, right?
Yeah.
And then like one day they accidentally give him money for his birthday or some shit, and that's how he dies, because he takes the money that way. But I don't know, some kind of other like twist that he didn't see.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like if he's aware of the rules and didn't see the twist coming, or didn't see all the angles more or less, then that's something that I think would be like I could live with. But I don't know about this like putting in a rule afterward that he wasn't aware of.
Yeah, that's a bit dickish. But that's Shinigami for you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, the Shinigami do not go by normal human rules.
Yeah, no. And at the end of the day, he is a criminal, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, he did ransom us Americans out of all our money.
Well, he didn't ransom. He
auctioned off.
He
Yeah,
had the
that's
best
true.
deal.
Oh, that's true. I guess he didn't commit a crime.
He made
did
the
he?
best deal.
Huh. So did he deserve to die? Do
No.
we think he deserved to die?
No, he definitely
didn't
did
commit a
not. No.
crime. No, but at the same time, do we consider it ethically wrong or morally wrong to sell a weapon of that power to a government entity or to the highest bidder? Isn't that in itself like? Do we think arms dealers are criminals, more or less?
I think something that the comic didn't explore was how many people had that money put into their bank accounts. It's going to devalue the money. Like it went through this whole thing because inflation's a thing, and it went through this whole thing of, oh, I've bought 3 cars and a new house and I've settled my student loans. It's like, it wouldn't actually do that. No, because when you pump a load of money very suddenly into the wider economy, that causes inflation.
No. I mean, it could have devalued the money. It also, in general, I just think it's the cost of giving that particular, because the Death Note, like let's say you give it to Trump and he actually has the Death Note, he could have just killed off all the people who got the money.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, right? He could have just wrote all their names down. Just the mere act of selling a Death Note in itself is kind of ethically sketchy. It's kind of wrong. I think the correct thing to do if you find a Death Note is to just give it back, right? Or give it to the authorities.
I think that's the only way you can win.
Yeah. Is to not take the deal.
It's the classic deal with the devil, though. That's what Death Note's always been about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of deal with the devil, it's deal with the death god.
And the same people who get the Death Note usually have like, they're like megalomaniacs or whatever, so they feel like they can beat the system anyway, right? So it's not like they're ever gonna give it back or turn it down. They're just gonna try and find the way to figure it out. But yeah, I liked it. It was interesting. It was fun to visit that world. They got the depiction of Trump all wrong.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, but I don't think it was depicting Trump. I think it was depicting generic American president, and that was... It's not trying to make a political statement. Like, I think Death Note's always classed itself as being a bit above political statements, in a way.
Right,
like, it asks questions on what is justice? and things like that, but it doesn't criticize. It criticizes like notions of what justice is, but in terms of just general political context, it does nothing.
Yeah. But if they were going to go that route, they should have just not used Donald Trump's name. Like, they should have just fucking made it a generic American president. But, you know, they wanted to get the sort of notoriety from having Trump in the comic, but at the same time, they didn't really stick to his character traits. They kind of stuck to the story they wanted to tell. And that's kind of like one of those cardinal sins. Like, you can't make your characters do something that's out of character for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
Your characters have to drive the story based on their particular traits. And so if not, then you have to make a new character. You have to give them different motivations. And so, I don't know. It's probably thinking too deep into it. It's just a funny thing that Trump is in there.
Yeah. It's just so bizarre. I was not expecting it.
Yeah, I actually got spoiled of that fact on Kotaku.
Oh.
They're like, Donald Trump is in the new Death Note. On the one hand, I'm kind of happy that they, like, gave it a signal boost to where I knew that the one shot was out, because
Yeah.
I would have never known otherwise. On the other hand, it's like, if you're gonna signal boost it, don't spoil it while you're signal
Yeah, don't
boosting it. But,
give
yeah.
big spoiler. I mean, it didn't really have much plot to spoil,
No.
but
But the
Trump,
big thing,
Trump's in it is a big attention-grabbing headline at the end of the day.
That is true. I'm sure they got a lot of clicks. Were you shocked? Were you like, oh my god, it's fucking Trump?
I was, but I admit, I didn't immediately recognize it as Trump. Because they just made him so much better looking than what he actually is.
His hands were normal sized. He had completely normal hands. He had a full head of hair.
Yeah. He looked rather handsome.
Didn't have dementia. Oh, don't say that about Trump.
Trump senpai.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I guess, like, because I was already spoiled, I was like paying more attention to like the depiction of Trump. And yeah, I don't know if he really looked like him either. It was like, I could tell that there were similarities, and because I knew it was Trump, I could probably maybe project more of his likeness onto that drawing. But yeah, it is a little bit different now that I think about it.
But it's not the first time that the likeness of an American president has appeared in anime or manga.
No, it's not.
Because
Obama
has been in quite a few, yeah. I'm not sure which exact ones, but it's definitely been in a few.
I wonder if they stayed true to character, because I mean, I've seen the pictures, but I don't know what how they depicted him more or less in those comics. But yeah, I mean, Obama is generally kind of like more of a statesman type, so it's probably easier to depict him correctly than it is Trump. Trump is a unique character in that. Yeah,
I would love to see Trump anime. I think it'd be hilarious. You know what it reminds me of, actually? You know what I'd like to see? So, did you ever watch College Humor's The Adventure of Kim Jong-un?
No.
They were these short animated sketches, and 10 years ago, I used to think they were hilarious. I'm not sure if they hold up today, but that's the kind of thing that I'd like to see world leaders do. Like a world leader version.
Yeah, I don't know if a Trump anime would be fun or depressing, just because he's still president. Maybe if it was like fucking after, I don't know. But then it'd be less topical and less relevant. I guess if you're satirizing,
it'd be like doing
Clinton,
him. Monica Lewinsky jokes today.
Yeah,
outdated.
Exactly. You kind of gotta satirize a person while he's sitting president. So it's just I guess it could work. So yeah, Death Note. Go read it. Put a link at the bottom.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
And maybe the next episode will feature Bernie. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be good.
And free healthcare. That would be nice.
Oh.
Yeah, how is the healthcare situation over there?
Nothing's really changing. Some things are being privatised. NHS jobs at risk, you know. The usual.
Okay.
The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. I'm over it, man.
The Lord or the law?
I'm over it, man.
You'll be fine.
I'm researching family history. I'm going to see if I can get an Irish passport somehow, even though I already know for sure that none of my grandparents are Irish. In the slightest. I'm looking for that sweet green card. Even though in Ireland they don't call it a green card, even though they should, because Ireland is green. That's a silly statement. Ireland is not green.
Leprechaun card.
Yes. That might be
the Lucky Charms card.
I mean, I have just re-dyed my hair ginger for going back over to Ireland. Because we're going to Dublin next week, which I'm very excited about.
You can blend in.
Exactly. And I've been working on my Irish accent for work. It has not gotten any better from when I was practicing it over summer for work. All right, there. I'm Joanna Lagwitch.
Hey, sounds Irish to me. I have no idea.
So I've been imprisoned in the county jail for 3 whole years. I came over from Ireland when I was 3. It's the only number I can say, and it's very offensive.
Let's say you lost your Lucky Charms.
I lost my Lucky Charms.
There you go.
I'm going to blend in. It's going to be great.
Yeah, they're going to put you on a cereal box. You're gonna be the national fucking mascot. Boom.
It's gonna be great.
Done.
I'm excited.
And they're gonna give you free health insurance too. It's gonna be wonderful.
Please.
What country in Eastern Europe has free health insurance? Speaking again of where I'm gonna move to.
Eastern, I don't know. Like I said, you should go to Scandinavian countries. High cost of living, but generally happiest in the happiness index.
See, that's why I'm trying to avoid those. Like, I'm trying to avoid the high cost of living. I want the low cost of living with the free healthcare. Ugh, free healthcare.
I mean, like I said, Prague is quite nice, but you've got to learn Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not even Czechoslovakian. It's just Czech. Well, I can help you out. So, the first phrase that you're going to want to learn is hello and goodbye. So to say hello, you say
hello.
Ahoy.
Oh.
Say it.
Are you sure this isn't pirate speak?
I'm sure.
Ahoy.
And to say goodbye, you say ahoy.
It's like aloha.
Hello, goodbye, how are you?
I was going to say maybe Czech is a historically pirate language, but pirates actually say ahoy matey, so there's a major difference there.
Ahoy, matey.
Yeah, it's usually followed by a matey. If there's no matey, then you're probably speaking Czech.
Wait, I'm going to teach you a phrase.
Okay. Is it ahoy matey?
No. So.
Is it ahoy,
ahoy.
Not matey?
Ahoy, j'aime Chris, j'aime American.
You what,
I
mate?
think the accent there was awful. One sec, let me.
Jsem Chris, jsem Američan.
Did you hear that?
Oh, jsem Chris American.
Jsem Chris, jsem Američan.
How do you say you what,
Let
mate,
me
in
look
Czech?
that up.
Ty co, kámo?
Ty to kámo.
There you go. You can blend right in.
You what, mate?
That's all you need to know. You just need to know those three words in any language.
Ahoy.
And you'll be fine.
And you what, mate?
Yes, yes.
So,
All right.
are we taking Prague
Moving
off
to
the
Prague
list then?
tomorrow.
Hey, it's cheap beer out there. I'll give you that. It's cheap beer. We actually
Yeah.
we're looking at houses after we left because post holiday blues.
Yeah, I mean, I just want somewhere that is cheap in terms of cost of living and has free healthcare and speaks English and has good food. Okay, I'm getting very picky here.
Yeah. It's gonna be a case of like pick two, mate.
Yeah, pretty much. What else do we want to talk about this week? Wastelanders
Yeah.
is getting a release date in April, so that's soon. It's February.
That's
I think
very
it's really
soon,
gonna help.
actually,
the game.
yeah.
Yeah. Just being able to talk to people and just having like the traditional kind of role playing type
Yeah.
quests, it's gonna be a game changer, I think, because the world is huge. The world is like 4 times as big as Skyrim or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Or big as Fallout 4. It's huge.
And
there's
relatively
just-
unpopulated.
Yeah, so just having people in it is going to be pretty
Yeah.
wild. It's going to make it more like a traditional. It's almost going to be like a multiplayer Fallout, because that's one thing people wanted,
Yeah.
right? For Skyrim, they want multiplayer Skyrim. They want multiplayer.
And ESO scratches that itch because it does have the questing in it and the storyline and the lore, even though some of the lore contradicts other lore, but there we go.
Right, but it doesn't have the single player sort of game mechanics, I think, as much as like 76 Book. It doesn't have the dialogue either, right? Like in terms of like ESO, like you talk to somebody and it's more like a MMO dialogue, right? I think with Wastelanders it's going to be more like an RPG dialogue. Like you're going to have like dialogue trees and branches and stuff, and it's going to be more like that kind of questing. It's
Yeah.
going to be more like a single player game, more or less. They're kind of like implementing more of that stuff, only you'll be able to play multiplayer. So multiplayer Skyrim would be, multiplayer TS6 would be cool.
I think it's
So,
going to be quite exciting.
So yeah, I think it'll be a good thing for it. I mean, it's got a lot of bad press. I think it'll be good press just to like have NPCs, and that's something people wanted. But it'll be interesting in the future if future games kind of blend these systems together, where we'll get a multiplayer TS6 or multiplayer in Starfield, or
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. Is that something you want? Is that something you want to play? Multiplayer Skyrim?
Yes. I mean, I know that there were some mods that were being worked on, but as is the case with mods that don't have much community funding, it did kind of end up vanishing, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully it wasn't like one of those situations where they take a bunch of money on Patreon and then just never
No.
release anything.
no, I don't think it was. I think we're alright there.
Yeah, that's something dangerous to fund anyway, even if it did exist. It's probably safer to bid on a Death Note.
You know who I'd kill first?
Who? Donald
No,
Trump?
I wouldn't kill anyone because I'm a nice person. I'd just have it, and then I'd pass it down to the generations and generations and generations.
Yeah, I might like fucking like frame it and keep
Yeah.
it somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Ryuk would be pissed off just like for you not doing anything and boring him to death. But
What can he do? Just feed him
yeah.
some apples. He'll be fine.
well, like you said, there's some twist is gonna happen to fuck you over. Even if you thought like framing it and never touching it was the best deal, was the best way to go, you'd get fucked over somehow. So best not to take it at all. Best to just say no, thank you.
You know what I think would be the best way to fuck over Ryuk? To give
How?
him shit apples.
Mm.
What's the really bad apple that looks really beautiful, but is actually really shit?
Are you thinking of Apple computer
It's
products?
not Golden Delicious, although they're pretty
Just
shit.
give him a fucking iMac.
It's the really shiny one. It's just really shit.
I have no idea.
Oh, I need to find it now.
Give him one of those like fake apples that are in like model homes or something where it's just it's not real.
That's what they fucking look like. They're the really dark red ones. They're not Golden Delicious, but Red Delicious. Red Delicious. Have you ever had a Red Delicious apple?
I have not.
Chris? They are fucking awful. They're bland. They're bitter. They're
Yeah,
disgusting.
could give him one of those, or just give him a picture of Steve Jobs or something. There you go. 'Cause
Yeah.
Apple.
Really make him sad. Or just tell him that the stocks have gone up.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And he missed out.
Yes. Should have bought back in 2000 when he was fucking around with the Yagami Light.
No.
Yeah. If only he just put that money into Apple instead, he'd be fine. He'd be rich.
Too late. Too late.
All right. Yeah. We will try and.
Not be back
No,
next
okay.
week because I'm away. I'm in Ireland.
Oh, that's right. Enjoy your trip to Ireland.
I will come back with a
Yes,
husband.
enjoy your Lucky Charms. Oh, you're getting married in Ireland.
Yep. Getting my green card. Getting my leprechaun card.
I thought for a moment there, I thought you two were like fucking going to Ireland for like your honeymoon. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, we're absconding. We're absconding. If I can find out that he's got Irish relatives, I know that he's got Irish somewhere. I just don't know where. It's just a matter of investigating.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just go to the end of the rainbow. I'm sure that will work. All right. Apologies to all the Irish people out there.
Sorry.
We're just terrible humans. Just write
Yeah.
our names in your death note. You'll be fine. Yeah, we'll talk to you when we next talk.
Goodbye.
Bye.